Hello, hello, hello. We are live. What time is it today? It's 8:30 p.m. It's time for coffee and conversations with Melissa. Welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in with us. I am so excited to present to you my awesome lifetime member, Toni Moore of Legally Chic 360.
Yeah. Hello.
How are you, Tony?
All is well. I don't really have any complaints. Thank you for having me.
That
Amazing networking like a boss chick that you are.
yes. And then as I said, we're going to start. What is your word for 2021?
My word for 2021 is up level. That's definitely something where I'm thinking that, I know business is a game. My kids, I have two boys and they're gamers and they know that there's levels. So even with regards to life, there's levels in business, there's levels. So it's just a matter of being able to not just level up, but up level using power to level.
Yeah, awesome. So tell us, share us your experience at My Coffee Connect.
So my Coffee Connect was good for me with regards to just connecting to people who I wouldn't otherwise connect to. As you know, I'm just a worker bee. I'm not one to be going over to people and saying, "Hey, how you doing? How you feel? Do you got a legal issue?" You know what I mean? So just putting me in a room with people just to tell them, what I'm interested in and tell them like what I do in my business, and then for them to connect or me to connect, with them was always a good thing. Yeah.
Awesome. So what is something new to you and your business?
One of the things that is new is that in 2021 we're really going playing full out, and we're sponsoring it's called the legal box. So that's something where we put different contracts in boxes, legal boxes, where people can be like, oh, I need this legal box, whether it's a trademark legal box or a startup legal box or coachpreneur legal box, or I think I did a musician's box as well, because I'm thinking like for 22 years as a lawyer, what do people need before they need it? So we just couch it in a legal box. So that's my little legal box that I've been doing.
I love
And also, I realized that I never thought of this, and I feel bad for people who got it for free before. I never thought of this. I'm starting to do legal coaching as well, because it's not enough to just get the form or set up the business. People got questions. And if people got questions, then, instead of me saying, I did my part, now I'm going to offer them opportunities for them to coach with me.
nice. So legal coach, like what do you mean? Like unlimited questions or your what does it mean by that, legal coach?
Well, I mean, legal coach, no, hell no, not with no unlimited questions unless you got unlimited money. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yes.
But usually, like what I'm doing for nonprofits, right? Most of them, they want to start out and they know it's more than just getting a 501c3. So I'm helping them along the lines with regards to their mission and their message and how to make sure that their money isn't funny in business. And then also with regards to I'm helping out with their programming, creating the solution that they need for the different processes they need. So that's one that I was doing legal coaching for, that just trying it out, and I was like, oh, okay, this is how it is. That way I'm not ticked off when people ask me 1,001 questions and they don't feel like they're left behind, right?
Mhm.
And even I started doing it with home care and healthcare, setting them up. It's not enough to just set up a 10, someone's articles of incorporation and saying, okay, now you got a business, now you got a brand, bye-bye, do it, you figure it out. Because I mean, Marie Forleo says everything is figure outable. But if you're going to figure it out and you start where you are, you might get jacked up and you fell out of the game. And to me, for me, a business, that's like boxing your brilliance in a business. That's like the wealthiest thing you can ever do in making a wealthy move. So I don't want people to just, you have to fumble through the dark, because then that's how they end up starting a business, quitting a business, starting a business, filing for bankruptcy, and falling astray along the way. So that's
Yeah.
something I'd never done before. Before I just compartmentalized it, and I was either, lecturer series with regards to adjunct professor, and then starting up and giving people like a 145-minute session doing what they needed to do and saying, okay, bye bye, figure it out. So I've never
Mhm.
done that before.
So tell us your expertise. I know your expertise in you're expert in trademark. What else?
Well, I mean, for me, a business is pretty much our wealth planning solution, our wealth building solution. So, from startup to asset protection, I do that. I love trademarking because of the fact that I look at a trademark as a way of distinguishing yourself. Like your name is very distinctive and distinguishable, and when you build it and brand it and bank it, you don't really want anyone else to get derivatives from the money that you could have. So I'm very creative by nature. I'm like creative by nature, lawyer by trade. So I love the trademarking side of it because, people can be like, well, I want to do a trademark on something crazy. And then I was like, oh, let's just mishmash it along the way and it becomes more trademarkable. Right. So I love doing that. And then I do a lot, I don't talk a lot online about it, but I do a lot of estate planning and probate because if you're looking at the full spectrum of wealth building, you're building wealth through your business, but ultimately you don't want to have to hustle forever, so you're going to need a succession plan, and ultimately you either want to pass it down to your family members or you want to sell it to other people. And so at the end of the day, you don't want to end up having all of your hard work be all for naught just because you're no longer here. And you darn sure don't want your cousin Vinny or somebody that you don't even know as a family member be the last one standing and pretty much have access to your business and your brilliance, your trademark, and your copyright, and not knowing whatever to do with it. So I like helping CEOs with regards to like building their business, helping them with their brand, because once you register a brand, then you can, license and distribute it to others. And then of course, succession planning, estate planning goes hand in hand. At
Yeah,
least
yeah. I gotta say, my experience with Tony is very, very awesome. He was the one who gave me the my title, connectologist. Everybody loves it, connectologist. And Tony Moore is the one who told me to sell coffee. So I am shopping for coffee. I'm excited with that. I'm very excited for
yes.
coffee. Yes, and he is really the one telling me, like, network like a boss is something like that. So she is awesome and she's very friendly, and I never feel stupid when I'm going questions with her. She is like makes me feel understand the way I can understand.
Absolutely. And behind the scenes, we're like friends, okay? Like she's like,
Yes,
when are we gonna have dates behind the scenes, girlfriend dates? So I'm like, oh my god, you're so crazy.
yes, I
You know
know.
what I mean?
I'm looking forward to that.
And we have teenagers, and I'm just like, I'm just starting with my teenagers, and my hair is turning gray. I'm sure my hairdresser loves it because now every 2 days it feels like I gotta cover my grays.
Yeah, I'm just I'm
Oh, look
it's
at you.
it's what you call this, it's hiding. I wanted salt and pepper. I really
Yeah,
want salt and pepper.
it's coming. You give it like another 5 more years, and you're going to be like, oh my God. I have a friend. She's younger than me, totally. I think she's like 45, but she's been gray since she
I
was,
like it. It's
yeah,
sexy.
she's like a premature gray since like 30 something.
Oh, yeah, I like it because like I really do like it. That's why before this is my nightmare. Now I'm okay with it. I'm embracing it. I earned it. That's wisdom or whatever.
Well, my wisdom will be hitting. Okay, honey.
You don't need to do like you are walking wisdom. Just
Okay.
yeah. So tell us more about the things that we need to know when we have a business.
Well, I mean, I truly believe that women should be two things, men as well. But since I work a lot with women, we have to be wealthy and we have to be protected. A lot of people are like, oh, we don't need to be wealthy. The hell you don't, okay? Because money answers all things. Money can help you like coach with other people and get into masterminds and to get into networking like a boss sessions where they only want a certain level of people. And the protection, that protection to me matters more than anything, you know? So with regards to when you're thinking along the lines of being wealthy and protected, you know, especially when you're working with your spouses, like you and I, we have businesses, we're married, our spouses are like, girl, you do your thing, right? But there's a
Yeah.
lot of people who are working with their lovers and their spouses, their best friends. And I tell people all the time, don't just do it as a sole proprietor. If you're going to JV, joint venture with people, you need to just set that into a limited liability company or a limited liability partnership so that guess what? If something happens, you can always look at your agreement. So, you know, how you create a thing is pretty much how you control a thing. So that's one. Always like your business entity matters. Some people think, oh, I need a corporation because it looks good. Dude, if you don't have like a president and a vice president and a treasurer and a secretary, even if it's just the three of the president and the treasurer and the secretary, then you're like out of the rules. And when you're out of the rules can't protect you, right? So I always want people to just think about what do the rules say. And people be like, oh, well, you need to start when you're ready. You know, you don't have to know, just figure it out. No, that's not how law works. You know,
No.
yeah,
Yes.
law is like, these are the rules. If you don't know the rules, you get caught with your pants down, then the government is going to get you, got your government, and then you're going to have interest and penalties. That's not a good thing. And you can't be like, well, I was new, because guess what? If you treat law like you could, as a jealous mistress, I remember one of my professors said that law is a jealous mistress. I was like, absolutely, because she's like, you disrespected the fact that she had rules. Now, once upon a time, I'm just saying, I didn't know, but I was like a jealous mistress. Like, what the hell? You know, you said that I was number one. And now that I'm not number one, I'm just going to bust the windows out your car. I didn't, but I really thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So when you understand that, you know, it's a business, it's a game, and you don't want to foul out, then you at least, two, respect the rules. You know, you have to learn the rules, respect the rules. If you're not that person, because I have some clients, they don't care. They're like, that's why I hired you. Okay. Well, you're going to pay me to make sure that you respect the rules with regards to compliance, and
Mm-hmm.
you respect the rules with regards to hiring and firing people. Even if you don't want to know under the rules, you're supposed to know, right? So, with regards to starting a business, you can handle, not the business that you want, but the one you can legally handle. And two, with regards to respecting the rules, with regards to IRS has rules, the Department of Labor has rules, the EEOC has rules, SEC has rules, with regards to if you're trying to invest in other people's business or you want other people's money, like you're down with OPP, other people's property, then at least you need to know what the SEC says before you start trying to get equity in someone else's business or asking for someone to purchase your equity without a prospectus. I'm just saying, you know? So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
business entity respecting the rules, because knowing that there's rules and there's regulators. And me, I'm a big proponent, maybe that's why I have the legal box of legal contracts, is knowing that everything is negotiable, right? So
Yes.
everything is negotiable. And because everything is negotiable, your contracts matter. And because your contracts matter, then you should at least be very serious and very consistent about how you write the contract and
Mm-hmm.
how you control the contract and how do you protect your ass sets in a contract, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, sometimes people be like, oh, well, I have my independent contractor agreement and I also have my service provider agreement. Yeah, but it's so much more. You know, if you're going to bring in affiliates, you need an affiliates agreement, affiliates marketing agreement. If you're going to bring in partners, then you need a partnership agreement. If you're going to bring in JV partners, you need a JV partnership agreement. If you're going to bring in an influencer in your business, then you need an influencer agreement. If you're going to bring in music, then you need, you know what I mean, mechanical license agreement. Sometimes I can be on a deal and it could be like 7 different agreements on
Mm-hmm.
a table that's governing the business. So you got to just understand and appreciate that it's levels. That's why I say up level. You know what I mean? You got to you purposely, you got to literally purposely up level to the next level. Like, okay, when I was starting out as a hustler, and then now that I'm an entrepreneur, and now that I'm a billionaires, and now that I'm thinking like a millionaires, and then how am I going to leverage? How am I going to do these things? It's still the same basic things with regards to business, having a business you can control, having respecting the rules and the rule makers, having contracts that protect your assets. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
also for me, with regards to just having SOPs, because when you have standard operating procedures, then at least guess what? It's not happenstance. Like your success isn't happenstance, and you're like it's not tenuous with regards to whether or not your assets are going to be protected. See, you can protect yourself by just having standard operating procedures. This is what we do when we bring people in. This is what we do when we hire people. This is what we do when we hire people. This is how we make a decision whether or not a person is an employee or independent contractor. This is what we do when we're about to leverage. You know what I mean? That way, you're not allowing other people to just have discretion over your assets.
Wow, that's a lot of information, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, just give us a holler. And she is walking, like a walk and talk of wisdom about law. So tell us more about what we need to do. Like for those who are, long time in business, new business, what are the things that we really have to have? Always have a contract in all agreements, right?
Yeah, well, of course, you definitely need agreements. Agreements matter. Your agreements matter. Everything is negotiable, and your agreements matter with regards to it. You know what I mean? And ultimately, when you get to the point where the answer to who isn't you, you need to outsource and find yourself of counsel, or either hire an attorney to be your corporate compliance officer, because at the end of the day, it's just certain things that you're going to not know. I remember, like, I think a couple months ago, I was at a school where they had something for entrepreneurs, business owners, and
Mm-hmm.
they weren't brand new, what I call business virgins. Well,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't that brand new, but were new enough that, hey, that they were literally like, I don't know if I want a lawyer. So I'm like, okay, here's the thing. What a lawyer can't teach you, rock bottom will. What a lawyer can't teach you, maybe a lawsuit will. What a lawyer can't teach you, maybe a replication of
Yeah.
your registration will. Like, most people are not proactive, right? So
Yeah.
with regards to knowing what you need to know, is ultimately, I tell people all the time, when what you are bringing into the marketplace is worthy of more, then you will work more to protect it. When you're not sure about your dopeness, when you're not sure about your brilliance, when you're not sure whether or not your business matters, then you're not necessarily going to think proactively, oh my God, this brilliance of mine, I'm going to box into a business. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually going to bodyguard my brand. I'm going to be the solution, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to have a trademark registration, a copyright registration, and
Mm-hmm.
then I can leverage it into more registrations, whether a registration with regards to an affiliate use, registration with regards to having different chapters in your business, with regards to someone said like franchising, and I told them, dude, franchising is essentially like you created something and now you're going to replicate it. You systematize what you do and now you can replicate it. So much so that you have a
That's
school for
my goal.
it, that you can market it. You know what I mean? But if you don't have that, then that's when you have a license to use. A license
Yes.
to use will still allow you to have money, but if you don't have, if you're not going to be in partnership with someone, helping them with regards to their real estate and helping them with regards to their SOPs and helping them with regards to making sure that their business matters so that your brand doesn't look like a dump, then you
Yeah.
have to just appreciate that, what, ultimately the answer to who is going to be you,
Yeah.
because you're not there yet, and a lot of people don't leverage. This one woman was like, I didn't even know that they have license and distributions. I was like, oh yes, 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 yes. When it comes to trademarking, you're not trademarking like a boss. Like, first of all, for me, boss is a badass woman slaying
Yes.
everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or even if it's a boss with regards to a business owner, success strategist, either way, whatever works for you, you still got to trademark your brand so that no one else can replicate it. If it's not
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Looking forward for me. But
huh?
we have a guest here. Hello, Bongai. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Tony. Nice seeing
Hi.
you. Thank you. Thank you. And she said, great nuggets, Tony. Thanks. Yes. Every time I have an interview with Tony, I've learned a lot of things. And the most thing that probably the businesses honor, like me, I'm spending money. I always ask Tony before I sign anything. I really paid for it. Am I safe to sign this? Something that is better to pay when you sign it than be sorry in the future. So always,
Absolutely.
always ask the lawyer if you are not sure about what you are signing. That's the most important thing,
Yes.
right?
Someone recently, and because most people like if you see like a lot of people who are upset because they realize they got a cease and desist on the use of the brand name that they created, but then they say, but really I did sign on a dotted line, or really I didn't register, or really I did create this when I was in someone's employment. I'm like, yeah, like everything is negotiable, but you completely need to know the rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything. Like we were talking like how to make $1 million. Dude, it's all based on your brilliance. You know what I mean? But I'm still like, but you can't lie. But if you're gonna tell your story, you gotta understand that everyone has a right to privacy unless there was litigation, unless you know what I mean, there's a transcript, unless there was an investigation and you're literally reading from police reports that have been identified. You don't want to end up being like that person that, started something, created something, lost everything because of a lawsuit or a business divorce
Mm-hmm.
from your
Mm-hmm.
partner or the person that you didn't even know you were partnering. Because some people just start businesses with their friends and their best friends, and then something happens, and they're like, "I want to cease and desist. They can't use my likeness." Dude, you guys have been in business, so guess what? Your history is their history, and you did not have like a business nuptial agreement that says if we never start working, that you can't use my stuff.
Wow, yeah, that's the most important thing. You need to have an agreement on, yeah. Yeah, what else do we need to know?
What you need to know. Ask yourself what you need to know. Like at the end of the day, there's so many different levels in business that it's just so much, from, most people be like, oh, I got startup, I can go legal Zoom. I got formation, I can get contracts. Someone recently gave me a contract that they literally cut and pasted from Udemy.
Wow.
And how do I know that? Because Udemy is in the contract and it's not even a real contract. I'm like, really? Like, really? You contact a business lawyer, you cut and paste that? I can't sign that bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That
So,
is that I'm speechless.
but I will say when you are hiring people, you need to know what their classification is, because if you hire a person and they're like cool with being an independent contractor, but they don't understand that they're really in business, and as an independent contractor in business means that you're not taking taxes out, they're responsible, but they're not saving up at least 20% of their taxes, that's a problem.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah, it's a problem because at the end of the day, whatever you bring in, like I hear people, they're like, oh yeah, I brought in $50,000. In my brain as a tax attorney, I'm like, okay, hopefully they set aside at least 10. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I made 100,000 a month. I'm like, hopefully they're setting aside at least 10. Because even with all your deductions, if you're not hiring anyone and you're doing it all by yourself, you're gonna have like a tax bill. If you don't file, then you'll have a failure to file, and then interest and penalties piled up on top. So ultimately, when you start making a lot of money, you're going to have to get out of the self employment, and you're going to have to say, talk to your tax person and say, hey, I want to be taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp. FYI, you get taxed as a C Corp under Biden's rules, you're going to be paying like over 40%. I'm just telling you right now. So you need to be very strategic. It's not just enough to just be in business and be like, oh, I'm making all this money and forget everything else because I'm making all this money. Well, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the money you make is blessing you and not cursing you.
You're saying make money like a net profit, you have to save 10% of the net profit or the
You need
gross?
to save 10% of the gross. That's when you set that
10% of the
aside.
gross? Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When you get audited by the IRS and you don't have receipts, that's a problem. Look, a problem. You know what I mean? We're not saying a problem. No, it's a problem. because now you got to pay like an enrolled agent, and the enrolled agent can't help you. Then you have to pay like a litigating attorney who can take you to tax court. You know what I mean? But tax court, if you don't have the evidence to back that thing up, there's going to be a problem. Not a problem, a
So you
problem.
still need to keep the receipt. I
Oh
thought if
yes.
oh my
IRS
God,
is
I
like
thought if I
IRS is
just
like,
write.
don't be sending me bank statements. It's good when you do at least have like one debit card that you're using
Yeah,
and maybe one business credit
yeah,
card that
that's
you're
what I
using.
do.
Yeah, but the IRS, if you get audited, they want to see them receipts. So yeah, and that's new because I did something and I was like to this woman, she's like, here's my, first of all, your bank statements. I told her, I was like, you taking tithes and offering in your bank statement, your mortgage, all that other stuff. You need to be able to separate those things. Okay, you need to treat your
Yeah,
business like a business, because when
yeah.
you don't treat it like a business, then it's going to be deemed as an alter ego. If it's deemed as an alter ego, then guess what, whatever you bring into the business, then it's going to be like yours anyway. So if there's ever a problem, then guess what? They're not going to treat it like a business, like you with regards to limited liability. No, not just your business assets could be at stake, but your personal assets as well, because you didn't treat it like a separate entity. I'm literally like, just pretend like it's a separate entity. Pretend like it's all got its own social security number, which is called a tax ID number. Pretend like it's got its own phone number, which it should, even if you have to go to something like Ring Central. You know what I mean? You pay that extra money because you're not thinking like employee as a side hustler. You're thinking like a millionaire who is now in business, and you're banking your brilliance, and you know that your loopholes matter, and you know that you need to substantiate that. So I mean, that's like that's up level conversation. Now it's no longer formation. Now it's no longer contracts. Now it's no longer SOPs. Now it's no longer, with regards to registrations or succession planning. Now the premise is that you already did that because that's at the lower level. Now you're enterprising your business, and what does that look like, and how does that help you? Because ultimately, when you're in business, you want to be an employee of your business, because as an employee of your business, now you can give yourself employee benefits. You get more employee benefits deductible when you're taxed as a C corp. But when you're taxed as a C corp, there's also additional things that you have to be noticed of. So you definitely need to talk to someone who can help you with tax planning and running the numbers for different scenarios. Especially if you're married, run the numbers. Especially if you're working for someone else, run the numbers. And especially if you have a lot of money, there's no reason why you should be making $100,000 and your business is still an LLC. You're making over $100,000 in your business, then your business should be taxed as an S corp or C corp. Go to your accountant, go to your CPA, run the numbers, get taxed as an S corp or C corp. You have until March 15th of 2021, and now you can give yourself employee benefits. Now you can set up a solo K, or a self-directed IRA, for your business. Now you can deduct up to like 50. I think it's like almost $57,000, as opposed to like only 6,500 in a SEP IRA. Next level,
So
up
yeah,
level.
if you're earning 100,000 a month or something like that, LLC is not good. S corporation is better. What are
Taxed as. There's a difference. You can be taxed as. So if you're not, like I said,
oh,
yeah.
okay,
So there's a difference between formation and taxation.
okay,
Formation as a corporation requires that you have officers. You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah,
A president, a treasurer, a secretary, at least officers. But when you're taxed as, it can just be you,
tax
but
us.
you're
Okay.
just taxed as differently with regards to it.
Okay. I
And
am
when
still
you're taxed as a C corp or taxed as an S corp, now you're looking at not just your 1040. No longer are you filing 1040s. You're filing 1120s.
mm,
Next level.
mm,
Some people
yeah.
are like, a Schedule C. I'm like, dude, when you're in business, not only do you have a Schedule A, but you have a Schedule C. But when you start making more money, you need to be taxed as a C corp or S corp, and that's an 1120 or an 1120S.
So who is the best one to ask when you're making money? Accountant or lawyer or both?
It really depends. You can't. I'm pretty much like boss legal diva because I'm like I started out in general practice for years at law firms and I hated it. But now that I'm older, 22 years in, I'm like, wow, it's probably a good thing that they forced me because they're like, oh, Toni, you're so good with people and you just suck in these regulations and you can teach it. So that really works for me. But there's not too many people like me who can be just as articulate about taxation as I am about trademarking, as I am about business entity, as I am about ERISA. Those are like my main areas, and as I am about estate planning. See, to me, it's wealth building 360, using your business as the instrument so that you can manifest more. I remember I said women should be two things: wealthy and protected. So, of course, I had the whole wealth building 360 with regards to starting with a business and ending with a business. And then, well, starting with a business and ending with a trust fund. You know what I mean? Because, hey,
Mm.
even if we weren't trust fund babies, we can be trust fund ladies. Yes.
Yes, yes, baby. Fast front ladies.
Yes.
Yes, we are. Oh
Yes.
my God, it's very, very like it's 31 minutes already. Oh my God, we learned so much from you, Tony. Oh my God, I've learned a lot. Really, I can watch this again. It's like I've learned a lot because I am. This is it for me because this year I'm going to get paid on what I do.
Yes. Yes.
So that
Now,
I
I
am.
do want to answer that one question because when my wealth building team is not just me, I have an accountant on the team. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
they can run the numbers. We have a insurance broker on the team who can tell you from health insurance to cybersecurity to
yes,
commercial insurance.
yes.
We have a few stockbrokers on the team because to me it's not just about mutual fund. You should be able to go and purchase some assets. You know what I mean? Like if it's mutual fund or it's commercial or the stock or something like that, even interest, whether it's common, that type of thing. So for me, it's not just me, but it's also with regards to who is your wealth building team. See, that's next level, up level with regards to who is on
Yes,
your wealth building team. Because when you're building wealth, you should also be protected,
yes,
protected from the IRS, protected from risk, protected from liabilities, protected from liars, duplicators, copycats, imitators, and the regulators. Because sometimes the regulators are like, you're probing, and if you say the wrong thing as they probe, then they're going to probe deeper. So I just want you to know that when
yeah.
you're dealing with that, like you're like, I am wealthy and I am protected. You make sure that you're building wealth with your brilliance, but you also have your own wealth building team that's going to protect your assets and help you run the numbers and help you leverage your brilliance and help you, what I mean, become a trust fund lady.
I know. I cannot wait for it because I don't want to count it yet, but I know I'm gonna be there. I cannot wait when we are at the point that okay, Tony, this is my bank account. What will I do? Yes, I cannot wait for that. Yes, I deserve this because I've been working my butt off to do this, and I am really really happy with the members that we are getting. It's like oh my God, it's really really awesome, and we had I had 3 events today, and I had 5 awesome new faces. That is very, very like they are very awesome business categories, and I believe they are all very interested to join us. So I'm going to have a meet to connect with them again, and I people see what I'm doing right now. My authenticity, because my goal is really, really the thing is it never goes to my mind because I am really really serious about on how to serve my members, and then we can really grow together, and we are really helping each other. They see that because I am passionate about what I do, and I'm really really um you know willing to serve each one of them. And I told them like, who asked this any I don't want to compare myself to any organization, but I always ask my lifetime members, my members, like, if you spend on this one, I ask them, how can I bring this back to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like how can I do this, like, because I am really, it's not about, of course I do this because of the money, but for me, I want to stay in this business, and I want
Mm-hmm.
to be good at what I do. That's why I'm asking them, how can I get you to move your product? That's why they were surprised when because the lifetime members, they already build the connection, they already know each other. That's why the first week and second week, I dig deeper to their businesses. And
Mm-hmm.
they were not expecting about it. Oh my God, I thought I signed up for Just Connection and I'm going to think about my business, because they said, what's your goal for the year? What's your goal per month? Somebody says, I want 6,000 a month. Okay, how are you going to do that? You say, oh, yeah, you have to work it, because my goal is to have 600 members. So in order for me to do that, I need to have a members, 60 members per month. So in
Mm-hmm.
order for me, if I do it by myself, I cannot do it by myself. But if all members will bring one, it's all going to be doable. But I am not going to wait for my members to do that. I will work my butt off to have at least 200 members for me to deliver what I'm trying to tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal is to have at least 6 connections per day. So because my goal is like three, three, 3 members per day for me to have the 60 members per month. It's a long shot, but I will do my best, because my word is believe. You know, believe. I believe in what I do. I even have where is that? This is, I see every day. My Coffee Connect, 10 for 2021, 200 times 3, 600 members. Believe. So this is what I see every day and always pray. And I am so happy to have met you, Tony, because it's like you are one who's giving me a pull. You're pulling me up, and then it's really like I feel so happy with what I do because you believe in me.
Yes. Plus, you're awesome and amazing, and you're purposeful. I always say, if you're purposeful, then you're supposed to be profitable, because there was a purpose and a plan for you to prosper. And because you're doing something authentically that you could do in your sleep. You know what I mean? This is not a pull from you. This is like you breathe it. You believe it because you breathe it. You become who you believe yourself to be. So, of course, blessings and power to you always with
Yes,
regards to it.
yeah, and I always ask, Lord, I wish simple things, because I have a place in the word that I have a voice. So use me to have a better word because of what's happening in the world, especially in USA. I hope we are all okay this year, that we are all good. So I'm trying to do positivity, 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 something like that. So we can, forget about the negativity. So all we have to do is like, I just want, put a smile on each face. So I just want to be like all of us, like positive, and then everybody's, Melissa, where do you get the energy? You're freaking contagious. They've been telling me that. That is good, right? So, but well, I'm human, but I have downs, but I just know how to deal with it. Something like that. So thank you so much, Tony. So where can people connect you if they want to get your service?
Definitely my home base is at Legally Chic 360. It's like legallychic360.com smashed together. And then that's where I have information. That's why I have, freebies with regards to it. You can follow me. I tell someone you can follow me on social media at Tony Moore ESQ. That's Tony Moore ESQ. Even Tony Moore ESQ will send you to Legally Chic. Even my Cash App is Tony Moore ESQ.
Yeah, awesome. And
So,
she's the lawyer that is awesome and cheap. It's always like, it's not a typical lawyer that wears a blazer all the time. She's very sassy. That's why we connected, because we're both in fashion. So, high heels, pink, black, something like that.
yes.
So thank you so much, Bungay, for tuning in with us. Thank you, everyone. And then if you want to catch our replay, you can watch me at YouTube Coffee and Conversations with Melissa, and like my Facebook page, Coffee and Conversations with Melissa. Thank you so much, everyone. Tomorrow, my business spotlight is Carol Campani of Canaway. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day. Don't go out yet.